Hello friends, welcome back to Amanda's Bookish Adventures, and it is July's book haul part 3, and it's kind of the theme of last week's video. We have a lot of sequels, and I think we have an ending to a book series that I've been collecting throughout the end of last year, the last couple months, and finally I think we got to the finale. So I've never read it because I've wanted to do a binge read of this entire series. But we have Stolen by the Shadows by Elizabeth Helen, Beast of Briar, Book 6. And I follow the author's Instagram, and I believe this is the final book to the series. And it is a reverse harem, and there's a lot of plot, a lot of world building, and I'm excited to read it. We also have another sequel, but I believe this connects straight to, it connects straight to the same couple from the first book. I have not read it. So this is book 3. I don't know if this ends this trilogy or if we have new characters. The next, I'll look it up. But I want to start this soon. I'm just kind of in the mood for, it's fairy tale-esque. It's the villain meets a heroine and she kind of stops him from being a villain, or they kind of converge on the path. I do have a sequel, and I just hauled, I believe, in the month. Well, I hauled the first book recently. They're releasing these books rapidly, so I do think this was picked up from Kindle, and sprayed edges. It's Egyptian mythology. I'm not gonna read it until I have all 4 books on my hands, but I'm hoping that will be good. We have 2 manga sequels. We have The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine, Volume 8. And out of all the volumes that I own, this is like the most darkest cover of this book series, because each one is light, bright, and airy, and this is just dark. So I wonder if we're finally going to get to a conclusion. I don't know, but I'm interested to see what happens with this manga. Then we have I Tamed My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog, Volume 7. And I'm excited to do a binge read of that because I have 1 through 7. So there are those. And then I have one more sequel. I have The Prince of Swords by Elisa Kova. And it is the sequel of, I think the first one's Arcane Academy. It's in my room. I wanted to do a binge read. I just know because these are direct characters, I don't know when the third one is, so I don't know why I've been doing this lately, is where I hoard series, and then once they finish, I just start them. So I'll see how I go, but I don't know, I really kind of want to start this, but she has a lot of backlist that I can get to before I read this. Then we have one I kind of just popped up, and I actually never even heard of it, and I pre-ordered it because I think it sounds so good. So we have Henry Tudor Must Die by Gillian Lane. It's time for someone else's head to roll, which I'm actually really, really wanting to read this really soon. One queen exiled, another headed for the gallows, both hungry for revenge. England's most infamous queens unite in vengeance against Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn is going to die. Neither her cleverness nor her witchery can save her. So when her late rival, Catalina de Aragon, miraculously appears at her cell in the Tower of London on the eve of her execution, very much alive and offering a daring escape plan, no one is more surprised than Anne herself. Lena doesn't have Anne's magic, but she has just much hate for England's wretched king. Severed from her daughter, stripped of all her influence, Lena only breathes for the hell-born sisterhood, a clandestine and powerful society with a vested interest in keeping both queens alive and using their particular skills to advance womankind. Anna and Lena's old rivalry pales in comparison to their hatred towards a common enemy, and they're not alone. Anna von Cleve, Cat Howard, and even Catherine Parr all have their own bones to pick with the king. One by one, they capture their pawns and infiltrating the court and eliminating the men who plotted against him, and always inching closer to their true target. And they want his head. And I don't blame them. Henry VIII was hideous in history, in English history, for what he did to his wives. So I'm hoping it's small. I really want this to be really big, but I don't know. I think it's perfect. There's a lot of books I want to read that's kind of based off of like the White Princess and the Spanish Princess of their true stories. So I'm going to read this and then kind of go back to it's the most historic accurate as close as the writer could get, but they researched everything, and it just I think I want to do from like each wife and read their stories and their histories. I think that would be really good, but I am fascinating and wanted to get to this as soon as I can. I have another sequel, A Forsaken Prophecy, the Artisan Trilogy Book 2. So I do have book 1, and I'm hoping to actually, my pile's sliding and I don't want them to get in. I'm hoping to have read the first 2 in the trilogy. And just, I don't know if I'll reread them or if I'll hold off, but I'm hoping they are on my TBR for August. We'll see. I want to see when the next book comes out as well, because if it comes out early next year, I might hold off, but I really don't want to because this trilogy just sounds really good. But then I have one I am going fantastically started that it is in a series, but it's more like standalone series. They're interconnected a little bit. Like the first 2 I have read, they've connected just a little bit, but the connection was enough that I loved, and we already know the character from this book from the last one. Marian has always belonged on the great blue sea. Betrayed by love, she lives and works as a supply runner, sailing from island to island, delivering an array of goods with Perry the sea serpent and Ray the sailor shrub as her crew. On one of her routine trips to the capital Elysium, Marian finds a revolution underway, and her friend Dax is in the line of fire. What starts as a resolve to rescue evolves into a deal. She will keep Dax on as a member of her crew if he pretends to be her boyfriend at the end of the Harvest Festival back home. But against her better judgment, Marian finds herself intrigued by his stubbornness, his passion for stories, and his charming smile, and realizes that perhaps she isn't saving him. Maybe it's the other way around. Sea of Charms is a cozy fantasy romance about finding your crew, family, and moreover, finding yourself. Now, I want to read it really quickly, so it might be read in July, even though I still have a couple days left in July. I would put it for my August TBR, but I just really want to know how it ends. Plus, I want to be introduced to the next character. I don't know what chapter or when, but the 4th book in this series has been announced, The Cheese Emporium, and I want to know where it connects. This revolution all connects to these characters. Some of them are librarians that have escaped this revolution of this country, and then they go on and have independent stories. They kind of connect, but you can read them as standalones. I don't recommend it. You won't get as emotional experience that I have received by reading them back to back. And it's worth it, trust me. So that is it for the end of July's book haul. If you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts. If you were excited for this release, I'd love to know and what you're rating. No spoilers, just your rating down below. And I'll see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.